With us now to help break down the investigation, retired FBI Special Agent hostage negotiator Christopher Voss. He is also a terrorism expert and CEO of the business advisory firm Black Swan Group. Christopher, thanks for being with us. All right, the timing is obviously very weird because 3 weeks go by and now suddenly there is a criminal investigation simultaneous with the arrest of the paramedic. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, as an investigator, the first thing is there's no such thing as a coincidence. You don't believe in coincidences until you've ruled everything else out. So the coincidental nature of this on its appearance does appear like it doesn't make sense. Now, the question is, how do they find out that Mr. Reed is in possession of the pipe bomb, and why were they looking in the first place? They would have had enough time to take a look at the scene of the blast to try to isolate the origin of the explosion. And when they isolate the origin, they're going to begin to look for what is it that sparked it? What was the initiating device, if there was an initiating device that started this off? So they probably found something which caused them to begin to look around to see where the initiator came from.
It was the ammonium nitrate that caused the enormous explosion and deaths, but they still don't know the original cause of the fire and then the blast that was the trigger of that.
Exactly.
But given the footprint of damage and destruction and so forth, it just seems impossible to me that they could find any trace evidence of the cause.
Well, one of the things about ammonium nitrate explosions is they tend to be, it's a slower moving explosion, which means a lot of things remained intact. They're not shattered with the explosion. They're torn apart. They're spread over a wide area, but they're largely intact, and there's a lot of good evidence left behind. So there would be a lot to find regardless of the size of the explosion.
The last inspection of this particular plant was almost 30 years ago by OSHA. They found 2 very serious violations. 30 years? 3 decades was the last OSHA inspection? I mean, how can that be, Christopher?
Well, that makes you wonder as well, but it's difficult to cast any sort of aspersions on it because either they could have been very sloppy at the plant or they could have taken safety very seriously and been doing a much better job of keeping it a safer place. So the only thing you know is that's a really long time and you don't know what to make of that.
And there are 700 of these fertilizer depots in the state of Texas, which was the site, by the way, Texas City back in 1947, of the worst explosion. 600 people died in that one. I mean, given that track record, well, you'd think OSHA would be all over this place. But Christopher Voss, we'll wait and see what happens. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Greg. Thank you for having me.
All right, a live look outside the White House.